Welcome to the RIT tutorial video. This tutorial video will show you the basic operations regarding the RIT client. Let's start by learning how to log in. First, type in your trader ID and password. For our purposes, I'm going to use Finance Lab. Then, click Login. A pop-up window appears saying Trader ID does not exist. Create new account. Click OK. Reconfirm your password. Type in your first and last name, and then choose Submit. We can see that a lot of windows are open on my RIT workspace. This is because RIT saves the last workspace you had open. In order to close all windows, go to the bottom right-hand corner, choose Windows, then choose Close All. Click OK. Now we can start from the beginning. Let's start by clicking the left top hand button called Portfolio. In RIT, almost all the windows are resizable. Just drag and drop the edges like so. Portfolio displays all the securities in the current case. The first column shows the ticker of each security. In our case, we have Stock Crazy and Stock Tame. The second column shows what type of security it is. In this case, both are stocks. Next, we can see the contract size. For example, each stock is worth 1 share. Cost shows the average cost on the security. If the current position is positive, then cost will tell you how much the shares cost when you bought them. If the current position is negative, then it shows how much you sold them for. Last shows the last transacted price. If last is going up, then a green box will flash along with the change of price. And if the last went down, it will be accompanied by a red flashing box. Both bid and ask use similar formats as last in terms of the flashing green and red signals. Bid means the highest price someone is willing to buy at the moment, and ask means the lowest price someone is willing to sell. Realized P&L and unrealized P&L are exactly as the name suggests. If the particular security has commission, it is automatically calculated as realized loss. If you would like to take away any of the columns that you do not need in the Portfolio tab, simply right-click anywhere in the Portfolio screen and click on the columns you wish not to see. After the Portfolio button, let's look at the Order Entry tab. Click Order Entry. There will be a drop-down menu. Click the Buy and Sell tab. For now, we will only be looking at the Buy and Sell Entry tab. The Buy and Sell Entry window shows the user to choose between tickers, like so. There's a toggle button for a buy or a sell entry. However, this does not impute the order. Then we can see the volume, which is the number of shares we would like to sell. Finally, there's going to be a market or limit order that we can impute, which is also a toggle button. If we input a market order, the price will be grayed out as so. However, if we choose to input a limit order, we can choose the price we wish to buy or sell at. Let's first try by putting a market order. We'll change the ticker to Stock Crazy. We'll buy, and we will input a volume of 100 shares. Then, if we click Submit Buy, we can see that our position of Crazy has changed by 100. Please remember that Buy and Sell is a toggle button. This does not actually impute the order. We can choose to buy or we can choose to sell. Submitting Submit Sell will actually change our position back to 0. A market order is an order to sell or buy a stock or commodity at the prevailing market price. If we input a market order, we are trading. A limit order is an order to buy or sell a stock at a specific price or better. A buy limit order can only be executed at the limit price or lower, and a sell limit order can only be executed at the limit price or higher. A limit order is not guaranteed to execute. A limit order can only be filled if the stock market's price reaches the limit price. While limit orders do not guarantee execution, they help ensure that the investor does not pay more than the predetermined price for a stock. When you input a limit order, your quote will then be in the market. Now let's take a look at a limit order in a book trader. First, click on Market Depth, then click Book Trader. Now let's input a limit order and see what happens on the book trader. We're going to buy crazy at a volume of 100 at a price of $9.96. Then click Submit Buy. As you can see right here, we have imputed a limit order of a volume of 100 shares at a price of $9.96. Please note that this is a buy limit order, so we would like to buy 100 stocks of crazy at a price of $9.96. Our order will not be filled until the market price drops to $9.96. Now let's input a sell limit order to sell 100 shares of crazy at a price of $10.19. Click Submit Sell. Now you can see that our order has showed up on the books trader right here. We have submitted an order to sell 100 shares at $10.19. Now we have inputted a limit order to sell 100 shares of crazy at a price of $10.19. This order will only be filled if the current price of crazy reaches $10.19. If we look back at the Buy and Sell entry tab, we can see that inputting one order at a time may seem insufficient or difficult when trading multiple securities at the same time. By clicking the plus sign, we can input another line of the Buy and Sell trader. Here, we can choose ticker TAME and buy 100 shares at a market order. Click Submit Buy. If we look back to the Portfolio tab, we can see that our position has changed to plus 100 of stock TAME. Our cost has also changed. The cost shows the average cost of the security. Since the current position is positive, cost tells us how much the shares cost when you bought them. Now let's input an order to sell TAME at a volume of 5,000. Click Submit Sell, and you can see that our cost has changed to $24.85. Because our current position is negative in stock TAME, cost shows you how much you sold your position for. Right now, we have a book trader open for stock crazy. If we want to open another book trader, click Market Depth, hold the Shift key down, then choose Book Trader. Now we've opened a second book trader, and we can change the ticker to TAME. Now let's input a limit order to buy a volume of 5,000 shares at a price of $24.77. Click Submit Buy, and you can see that our order has now appeared in our TAME book trader. We can also submit an order to sell 5,000 shares of stock TAME at $25.06. Click Submit Sell. Now you can see that our order has appeared here. Inputting limit orders into the Buy and Sell entry tab is not very efficient, so we can use the book traders to trade limit orders. It is not efficient to input limit orders into the Buy and Sell entry tab because you have to input an exact price that you would like to set your limit order. If we use the book trader, we can turn the lightning bolt on, which means that we add shortcuts. Choose a volume of 5,000 and then choose an offset of 1. Input a limit order. Now, if we look at the book trader, we can turn the lightning bolt on, which means we allow shortcuts. Because the market price has reached 25.06, the order that we put in has now been filled. If we look to the top of the book trader, V stands for volume. We can change the volume of the number of stocks that we wish to buy or sell. Let's change our volume to 10,000 and change our offset to 2. O stands for the offset. By putting in an offset of 1 and submitting a limit order, a left click, your price should be 1 cent more competitive than the price you clicked on. If we input 2 as we are doing now, our price will be 2 cents more competitive. Let's input some limit orders. Now let's open Trade Blotter. Let's close one of our book traders so that we can see the Trade Blotter more clearly. The first tab displays any transactions that are currently open. These are the limit orders that we inputted into the book trader. If we would like to cancel these orders, you can click Cancel One or you can click Cancel All. The next tab is Filled or Canceled Orders. The Filled or Canceled tab basically gives you a list of the orders that you have previously made. In Trade Blotter, you can see what type of trade you use the most. Here we can see that we've made on this screen 4 market orders and then a limit order. Okay. If we enlarge the Trade Blotter window, we can scroll up and see all the orders that we've previously made. Because we have canceled some of our limit orders when we were in the Live and Partial tab, you can see that our status says Canceled here. All market orders will be filled completely as long as there is liquidity in the market like so. However, when we see our limit orders, they may only be partially filled because they were canceled halfway through. Now I'm going to input another limit order into the Trade Blotter like so. Let's go back to the Live and Partial tab, and once again, I'll show you how to cancel a limit order. Choose Cancel. Now if we go back to our Filled and Cancel orders, you can see that we have just canceled 3 limit orders. Next, we can resize our Trade Blotter window to make room for our Ladder Trader. The Ladder Trader shows you the bid on the left side indicated in green and the ask on the right side indicated in red. A bid is a bid to buy. An ask is an offer to sell. Once again, ask is in red as so, and bid is in green. Once again, the ticker can be changed by the drop-down menu. Clicking off to on will allow you to input orders into the Ladder Trader. We can once again change our volume to 10,000. The Ladder Trader shows you the current market liquidity by displaying an aggregate number of shares at each specific price. If we look at the book trader, we can see that there are 3 limit orders to sell at a price of $25.11. If we turn over to the Ladder Trader, we can see the aggregate number of shares that people are willing to sell at $25.11. Let's input a limit order to sell 10,000 shares at a price of $25.11. We have inputted a limit order because the current market price of TAME is $24.98. Now, if we go to the book trader, we can see that we've inputted a limit order, and there are now 4 orders at $25.11 to sell stock TAME. We can see that there is a total volume of shares to be sold at $25.11. The volume is 24,400 shares. We can also input an order to buy stock TAME at a price of $24.93. Click on the green box and we can see that we put in an order to buy 10,000 shares. If we want to cancel the order, you can click the quantity as such. Let's look at trader info. You can see that my trader ID is finance. Underneath that, you can see my name. We can also see the P&L. Your P&L is your profit and loss. It is listed directly under your name. It also tells you the gross and net limit. The limits give a restriction on how much you can hold a position for. A gross limit is the absolute value of the buy or sell, and a net limit is accumulated net effect between buy and sell. We must now take a look at charting. Choose charting, choose P&L. We can quickly see a chart of our profit and loss during the session. If you click charting again, we can open security charting. In order to plot a security, you can either drag and drop a security, or you can change the security as so. Then click enter and you will see a security charting of stock tame. P stands for the period. S stands for seconds. You can change the bars so that each will represent 5 seconds in the charting. Or you can customize the number of seconds that each bar stands for by typing in a number as so. Click OK, and you will see that we have changed our bars to represent 15 seconds. Customize it again and change to 1 second. Let's take a quick look at our transaction log. Click Transaction Log. Transaction Log gives you a history of the past transactions. It is different from the trade blotter. Each line under the transaction history is one single trade. If we put in a limit order for, say, 20,000 shares, it will show us one single order in the trade blotter, but breaks it down into individual transactions in the log like this. Also, it will show you the commission of each trade. In the table, a red number indicates a negative and a green is positive. The quantity shows how much was traded in the transaction. As you can see, I have just inputted a market order to buy 20,000 shares of Crazy. You can see how my order was split up. The quantity shows how much was traded in that transaction. Since we bought the shares, the numbers will be indicated in green. When we bought 10,000 shares, the value is seen as a negative or in red because it's an outflow of cash from our account. If we want to save our transaction log so we can look at our strategy used throughout the case, we can right-click anywhere in Transaction Log, then click Copy to Clipboard. If we open Excel, we can then click into a column, click Paste, and you can see that we've shown our transactions here. If you enlarge the columns, you will be able to see all the numbers in your transaction log, including the value of each trade. Let's now close Excel and look back at our RIT window. As you can see from the progress bar below, our case is almost finished. We will restart the case so we can look at some other portions of RIT. Now let's go to the bottom right-hand corner. Choose Close All Windows. Click OK. Now let's set up a screen that we can learn how to save. Open the Portfolio tab. Then open both a book trader and a ladder trader. This is the screen that I like to set up. However, you can choose whatever suits you best. Let's enlarge both the book and ladder trader so they appear to stretch to the bottom of the screen. That way you can see the most number of prices. Let's open a transaction log, place it at the bottom. We will also open a trade blotter, as we have seen before in the video. We can resize the windows like so. Let's open a buy and sell order window. Here we can put in 4 lines so that we can see stock tame and stock crazy both at buy and sell. Let's set up a positive volume of 10,000 shares for each. If we leave our volume in 0 and click Submit Buy like so, we will see that there is an error from an invalid volume. This is why we should change all the volumes in our Buy and Sell Entry tab to 10,000 shares. A volume of 10,000 shares is the volume that I like to trade with. However, you can input any number of shares here. Now let's open our trader info. Leave it right under the Buy and Sell Entry tab. Next, I can order a Kill All Orders window. I have not mentioned this yet. However, if we push Kill All Orders, We can cancel all orders previously made as limit orders that we've inputted into the book trader, ladder trader, or the buy and sell entry. If we make some limit orders now, like so, then we can choose kill all orders. As you can see, our trade blotter has been wiped clean. Next, if we go into the filled and canceled orders in our trade blotter, we can see that the status has been canceled on many of the orders that we have inputted. We can see that a tender order has just appeared. It says an institution would like to sell 60,000 shares of Crazy at a price of $9.68. If we would like to buy these shares, click Buy. If you would not like to buy these shares, you can decline the order like so. If we choose Buy, like so, we can then enter our trade blotter, click on Tenders, and you can see that we have just won an order. Previously, we have declined 2 orders for the purpose of this video. We can also see that because we have inputted the order to buy 60,000 shares of Crazy, in our transaction log below, you can see that we bought 60,000 shares of Crazy. Over in our portfolio button, you can see that our position has increased by 60,000 at a cost of $9.68. Because we have just accepted a tender order, our goal is to close our position of 60,000 shares of Crazy. Closing our position will allow us to not be exposed to the market risk. Now, if we go into the Order Entry tab, choose Submit Sell, we can sell 10,000 shares of Crazy. Now we can save our workspace by going to the bottom right-hand corner, choosing Default, then choose Save Workspace. We can save our workspace as anything we would like. For our purposes, we can save our workspace as Workspace 1. Then choose Save. Go to the bottom right-hand corner, choose Close All. To open up a previously saved workspace, go back into Default, choose Load Workspace. Click on a workspace you have previously saved, then choose Open. You can now see that the workspace we have just saved has now been loaded. In order to show you that this saved workspace can be opened on any other person's RIT account, I'm going to now log out of RIT. Retype in a new trader ID and password. For our purposes, I'm going to use Trader1. Now we'll once again choose Login. Click OK, reconfirm our password, and type in our first and last name. Click Submit. Return to the bottom right-hand corner, choose Default, choose Load Workspace, click the workspace you have previously saved, choose Open, and now you can see that we have reopened our saved workspace on another Trader ID account. Finally, let's look at the News tab. In this case, we only have a welcome message. In other cases, we may have information displayed in the news that will be price sensitive. Now concludes our tutorial video. If you would like more information on RIT, please visit our website at rit.rotman.utoronto.ca.